went in, I'm in my bathroom. That was police. I remember just being in denial, but I also remember just being relieved too, because I asked for it. As a kid, I think I was focused more on when my mom would come back around. She would go missing for a while. She was a crack addict, an alcoholic. From 20 to before my 24th birthday, I was just a cocaine addict. The night before they did get me, I missed my daughter. I hadn't seen her in a long time for good reason. I just prayed out loud. And I just said, God, if you're real, like, just let me die. Like, literally, just like, let me die. Or, like, fix me.
I've already been through so much in my life that I didn't choose. And then also some painful things that I did choose. And it's like, why not choose something painful that you learn something from? And to get better at something.
I think there's some areas where I'm improving myself, taking a deep look and going, hey, here's something we need to focus on. When I'm done with this prep, I think I'm gonna go back to therapy. Like, I think there's some things that I wanna talk about, like, and I wanna, like, get to the root of again that came up because of this.
I probably was 3 or 4. I remember my mom, I knew she wasn't supposed to drink. She would take the Franzia box of wine and put it in the back of the car, and she would be drinking and driving, and I'd tell her, like, Mom, you're not supposed to drink that. But she would say, it's okay, it's just cranberry juice. So I thought, okay, Mom, I'm just drinking juice. I got in a lot of fights growing up. There's a lot of self-esteem issues. I don't know if it was seeing my mom get in fights with people over drug deals gone wrong, or she's getting too drunk. I have an aunt and uncle who, in 8th grade, tried to convince me to come live with them. I couldn't adjust to not chaos all the time. I couldn't adjust to, like, if I was mad, not slamming a door. And that wasn't normal to them. In high school, that's when I figured out I can get stronger. That's something I have control over. So I would work out with things in my backyard. My mom got sober and we went and stayed in a hotel. And I remember truancy court, like, filing over and over, saying my mom's gonna go to jail. And I just didn't care. And then I just one day just stopped going to school. I didn't see myself as one of those kids that was gonna grow up and do something with their life. Those years are weird.
It was February of 2012, and I was driving home from the gym. I had broke up with my girlfriend. I just had a thought of turning the wheel to run into the barrier on the side of the road. I just remember doing it instead of stopping myself from that thought. As soon as it hit the grass area, I remember changing my mind, so I tried to slam on the brakes. It was just too late. I slid, I hit the wall. I was in a pretty big pickup truck that probably, frankly, saved my life. I was scared at that point because I thought, oh my gosh, if they know that I just tried to kill myself, they're gonna just put me in a straitjacket and lock me up somewhere. I just acted like I was passed out. And then I acted like I kind of came to in the ambulance. They asked me if I drank anything, and they asked me if I had done any drugs or anything like that. I said no. I went to the hospital. They did an ECG because they thought something must have happened with my heart. They said that they saw an anomaly. The options were go on and not do anything, or to put a defibrillator in my chest. My family was obviously very concerned and worried, and I was at this stage in life where I would rather lie about what happened than admit that I had a obviously deep issue. I went through with the surgery and they put a defibrillator in my chest. That was actually 1 month before the first time that I have ever tried any type of drug. I basically went from the pain pills that they had given me after the surgery to go into a spring break event with somebody and just being like, screw it. Like, at this point, what's the point of, doing anything right anymore?
And from 20 to before my 24th birthday, I was just a cocaine addict. Just went from sniffing cocaine to shooting cocaine. And so I spent those years just doing whatever crimes and manipulating whoever I could just to get money to pay for that addiction. 21, I had my oldest daughter, Aisley, and I thought that was gonna stop me. I just couldn't do it. I just kept using drugs. I just kept using cocaine. I couldn't stop while I had a little girl in my house. I got to a point in the addiction where I just didn't care anymore. I have nothing. I have nobody. I live in an apartment infested with cockroaches. And I thought, you know what? Let's just go rob a bank. I went to my own bank, and on the back of my own ATM receipt, I demanded that they give me money or else. And I slid it to the teller, and I saw the look on the girl's face. The girl just froze. I remember just feeling so bad because she read it, and she just sat there looking at me, like just tears in her eyes. And I just walked out, and I was just like, what am I doing? For 2 months, I was just running around, still getting high, working deals. It was August 3rd. It was early in the morning. I remember going to get cocaine. So I go in my apartment and I start shooting coke. And I get a phone call. And I'm like, hello? And nobody says anything. And I hang up and I have this feeling. And I knew. And it was just not even 30 seconds later. Boom, 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 boom. The door went in. I'm in my bathroom. Dallas police, they come in, they take me. And I got blood coming out of my arms from the needle. I remember just being in denial. But I also remember just being relieved too. Because that was the last day I used cocaine. It was over. I knew it was over. Oh, prison was crazy. I went to the highest classification prison that you could go to, essentially, 2,000 miles away from my family. So I never got visitors. And I just remember going there, and I remember just feeling like not very alone. You're with people that are there for these big time indictments. So for me, it was a reset. You're getting put away from everything for a while. We're gonna clean you up, and let's bring you back as something different. So I had a 3-year sentence. When I finished my time in the feds, I was supposed to be released. But I had an assault on a police officer, and that I had another sentence I had to serve, which was a 5-year sentence. And so 2 months after I was put back into the world, December 3rd, my federal probation officer, so right before Christmas, came and told me, hey, Texas messed up. And you have to go back to prison, but you're on a state now. While I was in federal prison, I grew my hair out really long to prove my sobriety. And so I was actually afraid they were gonna shave my head. They didn't shave my head, so that was cool. I was there for about 6 or 7 months, and I made parole. So once I got out, I got a job welding brakes. I was working also at an oyster bar, as I met my wife. It was actually during that time.
It was an instant match. Whenever he first told me about his background, I think it was like that second day we were just texting, and he was like, I have to tell you something. How he worded it, he was like, since you have a daughter, I have to let you know something. I'm like, oh no. A million things are going through my head. I'm like, what does this mean? And then when he told me his background, I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. Of course, I had a million questions. You would just think that somebody with that background would be more bitter. He's definitely not that. He is a very forgiving and sweet, genuine person.
We'd had Nora. Everyone jokes around like I gained baby weight too. When I got out of prison, I was 200 pounds, super lean, doing 750 burpees a day, just whatever we were told to do that day. Getting out, I didn't have that same routine or structure. And so in a year, I put on, no joke, 85 pounds.
I remember watching YouTube videos of guys like Matt Frazier, Rich Froning, and I was like, I want to look like that. So I remember emailing like the little local gym. The owner of the gym was like, yeah, come try us out. And then I spent 3.5 years part of that community. There was something about the community at the time that gave me that sense of purpose. It was a bunch of broken people just like me. I was just at a phase in my life where community wasn't what I felt like was fulfilling me anymore. I wanted my workouts to be a little bit more personal. That's when I decided, like, you know what, let's go all in on the bodybuilding thing for a little bit. We spent years doing this. Let's go back to what we loved. I started bodybuilding on May 1st, 2025. I hired a coach and I said, hey, I want to get shredded. We started a program. And that program was only supposed to last till July. And it was just for a trip to Florida. We went to Florida. It was the best I'd ever looked, best I'd ever felt. I was proud of myself. And then I came back from Florida and I rebounded just into the old habits of like off program, eating whatever I wanted. And I remember reaching back out to that coach going, hey, I think I need to always have something to work towards. Well, let's pick a show. The first 9 weeks was so smooth. And then week 6, it kind of went to survival now. 2 weeks ago, I started struggling with like waking up in the middle of the night, eating things I'm not supposed to. So I'm not sleeping in my own bed. I sleep downstairs on the couch with a fan blowing on me, where it's a little quieter, about every hour. I wake up, don't sleep very good. Usually about 2:30, 3:30. At that point, I'm just like, let's just go do cardio.
Every time I mess up, I'm doing extra cardio, or I'm skipping a meal to make up for it. And that is an eating disorder. That's the problem.
I'm struggling. I feel like I'm failing. I feel depressed.
Say he messes up on the diet. Like, you know, he regrets it the next day. He's feeling kind of like, why did I do that? I feel like that kind of irritates him just in general. So then the house is kind of like tense. I know where it's coming from, so I just will not be as nitpicky or like, hey, can you help with this? I'll just do it.
Like, can I actually do this hard thing I set out to do? I can be mean to me. That voice in my head is a little louder. Like, finish what you started. Finish what you said you were gonna do. If I couldn't finish this, I actually am worried about how I would treat myself.
When I mess up, I just sit there and I think about it nonstop. And if I don't make it to December 6th, my whole world just crumbles. The human in me, I think that voice is telling me like, dude, it's okay to say, we've come this far, let's pull back. But then there's that part of me too that's like, if we're gonna fail, let's fail at least full speed. It's been kind of rough on prep, but we're here. We're going to check into the hotel. I've got all the food that I know that I'm gonna need. Like, I had been really nervous up until that point because I was like, man, this is not the package that I wanted to bring to the stage. But let's just finish this. Let's just do this and let's just see what happens. We weigh in. I made weight. It was 196, which was crazy because I was having such a hard time making sure that I was under. And so to have made weight and to be a lot lower than I expected, I was like, man, this is working. We're not messing up. Nobody prepared me for the tanning experience. You go back there and they give you these little, they look like hairnets that a lunch lady would wear, and you put them over yourself, and that's all you're wearing as a guy. And then it's just like these ladies. Then they're like, hey, come here, sweetie. And so they're spraying you. They're telling you to lift your leg. And I mean, you are just fully undressed and fully exposed, and it's freezing. We're backstage and we're pumping up. So I was in 2 classes. It was in a novice, and then there was the light heavyweight open, like the big guys.
The first class you see here is the novice heavyweight class in bodybuilding.
So I wasn't thinking about how many guys are on my left, how many guys are on my right. Like, I wasn't thinking about any of that. I just was so excited when I got pulled closer and closer to the middle, and I was standing next to a dude that I knew looked shredded, and I thought, they want me next to him to compare to him? I think I still had some belief that I looked terrible. And so when they put me in the middle, I'm the novice, I could not believe that. Then we walked off the stage, I went and saw my coach, and he was like, "You did great. I think you got second place." And I was like, "What? Really?" And then on the light heavies, when they had me in the middle for one pour, I didn't know when they were going to move me, and I didn't really care, just the fact that I was there, and there's photos of me posing next to the dudes that placed top 3. That was a thrill. And then when they switched me and they put me on the outside, I didn't even care that I was put on the outside because I was still first call out. Like, that was such a win for me to go, like, I'm top 10 with these guys. Kind of took it all in. Still didn't know what the next part of the whole thing was.
So I made finals for both.
Woo!
We get a burger, so it's not all bad news. We get a burger for lunch.
All my friends were here, and Blair's here, and the kids were out there, and that was the first people I looked for. It was literally, as soon as I got on the stage, I just was looking for y'all, and that lit me up, so. I'm just feeling like such intense gratitude for this whole thing. This has been a super crazy experience for me. Like, it's tested me as a person. It's brought up things that I have neglected to take care of. Let's revamp and recomp the way we handle life and the way we handle intense pressure. Man, we have so much power over our own life. We can be whoever we want to be. You get to do whatever you want to do, but to just go from being a kid in a weird spot to being a drug addict to going to prison and then turn it all around. And this, I'm just grateful, man. I'm just so grateful.
Hey, Austin.
Hey, Austin.
Hey, brother, it's Will.
It's Alex and Drew. We just wanted to let you know that we are so proud of you.
It's Ren. Just wanted to say I'm so proud of you and all that you've accomplished throughout this whole prep and competition.
I'm excited to see what's to come, and let me know when you're able to do a cheat meal. I'd love to go crush something with you.
We knew you could do it.
We are very lucky to have you in our lives. Great job, bud.
Love you, brother.
Love you.
I love you, Daddy.
Austin, I'm so thankful for you and incredibly proud of all you've accomplished. I want to thank you for being my best friend and an amazing dad to our girls. We love you so, so very much.
I love you, Austin.
I love you. You're doing great.
Life feels a little bit lighter because I'm not stressed. There's not a deadline lingering over me. It was the hardest thing I ever chose to do. I didn't give up, and I learned a lot, and now I definitely have the bug. Now I want to compete. Now I want to do more. We have another competition that we're going to do this year. Blair's excited, and Nora's excited. My youngest one, she just loves it. Everyone has something that they've been through. And I have my version of what a tough life was. A lot of times we are a product of our environment, and I've been kind of molded by a lot of the chaos in my life in my early years. And now it's weirdly something that I won't say it's healthy, but I do crave a certain level of difficulty in life. And now I'm an adult and I have a family I have to provide for. And so instead of letting life happen to me, I'm going to pick my suffering. I'm going to pick the things that I go through. All that outside noise, that outside suffering that calls me, that I don't have to be a part of, I choose to push that out and focus on what matters. This is the suffering that I pick now, but it's nothing compared to the things that I went through in prison, and it's nothing compared to the things I went through as a child, and it's my own choice. Once that hard thing is over, there is a fortitude that it builds. I am excited now. I'm more grateful. It's like when I got out of prison. To this day, it's just constant gratitude of this is the life. Right now I'm sitting out here and somewhere around here my kids are playing And, later I'm gonna go to dinner with my family and I'm gonna get to enjoy an off meal. These are things that I am never gonna not be grateful for. There's going to be a season where I have to do this again, and it's going to be kind of tough, but I'll just remind myself, like, hey, dude, you've been through worse that you didn't ask for. And this is something you want. You either make sacrifices for your dreams or you're going to sacrifice your dreams. And so I'm at that stage where I'm like, I'd rather sacrifice for my dreams. I would rather suffer for something that I want.